I didn't know if I could actually do that or not. I literally
like they would ask me a question like that, and I would
And did you get responses?
well, like once
Yeah.
the thing about this
Oh, thank you.
well, as long as you just they don't
I'll go wherever you want to go. So you're going to sit on your seat. My advice is like show them your sketch now. Just be
do you see sweet class? My friends and she said there was a guy who has a math of history. And he had a doctorate in math of history.
maybe ask him.
And,
I don't know something in these sessions today. They've been doing that.
Yeah.
her office hours were 35 minutes during the day.
Come in here.
Once a week.
I was surprised to see you. You're like, you're not registered. Okay. I should have. Did I bug you about giving it something better?
And I'm like, yeah.
I didn't know if I emailed you. I'm not sure. If I saw you registered, I'd be like,
Oh, yeah.
doesn't bother me. I'm just glad that you're I agree.
Kind of went to that class there.
Oh, I like and then you make fun of
I liked it, kind of, but otherwise,
Good.
like,
sometimes I would look at the rock dance. Because I was doing methods and I hate my habits. I have nothing good this morning.
I did it really hard, because I heard it out.
I should have, and I should take the test now, but
You got a job.
yeah.
they gave all the lessons. That's what we're gonna do.
I want to test something.
You have one this way, exactly, yeah. Oh, it's definitely white.
No, I couldn't do that. I didn't mean it.
Oh, yeah. Doing research.
No, he's the only guy. Yeah. Amanda Arthur. She was like, she was in my I'm pretty sure she's doing it because she's like, I got it or whatever. And she's
Can I rip off that for a second? Can I ask you a question? You want to introduce this? I think is it time? Yeah. Okay. You know, I think you're in for a treat right now, to be quite honest. Is this the last session of the day? Yeah. Okay. How many of you had at least an okay day? On a scale of 1 to 10, you had at least a 4. Pretty much everybody? Has anybody had a day that's what's the range from? 0 to, what is it? Did I tell you what, the 10? How many of you had at least a 6? How many of you had like higher than 6? Seriously, that's nice. Okay. Well, so you're in for a treat. If you've had a good day so far, you're in for a treat. So, you want to introduce us, right?
Yeah.
So, you want to introduce yourself first?
People might not know this person, Dr. Edwards. He's one of the hosts of the GeoGebra conference. I'm Cassandra Willhelm. I'm one of the Miami University students. I've had less than 1 year experience with GeoGebra, but typically I use it for stats or statistics, and so Mr. Edwards actually talked me into doing this since I've only used it for statistics.
How hard did I have to twist your arm?
Pretty hard. I mean, it was at least like a couple weeks I had to think about it, but you kept bugging me.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Are you-
Every class period, you kept bugging me.
So this is not like a joke. We're not doing stand-up right now.
Yeah.
Okay, but she's willing to do it, right? And then you just said something to me that it's just dangerous to say. You said, I think you said the F word? Not that word. What's a word that starts with F that you want all teachers to be? Fun. Flexible. I think you said something like you're willing to go along with things. Did you say that just a minute ago?
Maybe, possibly.
I don't know. You guys don't know me because I've done nothing here so far today except go from session to session.
I heard you missed a session.
I did. I missed my own session earlier today. Because I'm busy running around helping people out. And so you don't know this about me, but if you tell me that you're flexible and you're going to present with me, guess what's going to happen?
You're going to do it. Yeah.
We're going to do all kinds of stuff. And we don't know where we're going to go. Okay?
We don't have this planned out.
No, this is not planned out at all.
Even though we've met several times,
Yes.
you have no...
Yes. Now check this out.
Frustrated?
No, don't be
Sort
frustrated.
of.
What's the main goal of our talk today?
To be able to create lessons on your own for statistics classes.
Using what? Is there really one command we're going to talk about?
Random between.
Random between. So I have a question for you before we do anything else. How many of you have used the random between function in GeoGebra? Okay. What's my next question?
Who's used any statistics function?
No. Who has not used the random between function in GeoGebra? Okay. So at the end of this talk, you will have done something you have not done before. So in that sense, everyone's a winner. You're going to learn some new things. Now I had her do the following. Can I kind of go through it? Could you resize this so all we can see is GeoGebra? And one of the first things I always do when I use the software is, and people find this annoying, but guess what I really want her to do really fast? before we get involved in any commands, let's make the font bigger. So everybody, even me, like when I'm back there, I can read what's going on. So how do we make the fonts bigger? Options.
Font size.
Font size. What's a good font size?
16.
16 at least. Why do I want to change the font size? So we can all see and so I can see. So I always do that. Now, what did I have you do earlier?
I actually created a random between point.
Okay, can you show us how you do that, or?
Well,
what's
there's
involved?
several ways to actually create a random between point. So you'll see this input bar. At the bottom of your page, you can enter in any kind of functions. It'll actually come up like, you just have to put an R in, it'll come up with a random between function. So we're going to create a new point. I've created the point X. You can create it any letter you want. I'm going to do A and set it equal. And then once I type in random, then you'll see it.
What pops up here as soon as she types random, like RA? Yeah, we want random between. So what's that telling us right here?
We need a minimum and a maximum.
Minimum and maximum integer? Okay, so I'm thinking of random between like the scale. Did I ask you earlier today how your day was? From 0 to 10? Can we make a value between, random value between 0 and 10? Help me do that. Someone tell her what to type in.
And then a comma.
Okay, so you're actually deleting that thing out of there? Okay, 0. I got you. You hit comma and it just jumped over there?
On the Mac, I have it. On the
Okay.
PC.
That's cool. Now, look what happens when she hits enter. Can you predict what's going to happen? Don't hit enter yet. What's going to happen?
7.
We're going to get an integer.
0 and 10. What's going to happen in GeoGebra? What's going to be up there that's not up there right now? A? Where's A going to be? No, I mean where physically on the screen?
It's going to be over here.
Is it going to be in the graphics view or algebra view? Algebra view? Only algebra view?
Yes.
You bet me $1. No? Okay, go ahead and enter. Let's see what happens. You notice how it just comes over there? Now what was the, you notice she has another value called x, it's -2. So that's also a random value. So I got a question for you. It's the random between, right, between those two values. So it would be really neat if we could actually get the values to change. You know, like we hit a little button and we get a new series of values. It's random, isn't it? And then a new set and a new set. Does anyone now actually might do that? Kind of refresh the calculation?
Hit refresh on one.
Yeah, where is that? I want you guys to take a minute and see if you can find it. I want you to make a random value, like she did, and see if you can make it update itself automatically by just simple key presses. We'll give you about a minute or so to try to figure it out.
Can you say one more time what you want?
We want, let's demonstrate for them without telling them how you're doing it.
Okay, so he wants you to create either a point like a B, a C, and then he wants you to automatically refresh it. Be able to just press a button on your computer and it changes.
Press 2 buttons.
And do me a
2
favor,
buttons, 3 buttons.
don't tell your neighbors how to do this. I heard someone spill the beans. Why do we want people to struggle a little bit with this? So that's how you learn stuff. Show them what happens when you update the values. This is what you want to happen. Look at that. What's happening with A and X? That's what we want you to be able to do without having to ask your neighbor. Because one day you'll be in your room by yourself and you're like, how in the heck do I do that?
Mr. Edwards will give you a cell phone after you so you can call him right up.
Now, is anybody other than the folks over here on the far end of the room, did you figure out how to do it? How'd you do it?
I went to view and it says recompute all objects at the bottom and the shortcut is Control R.
It's Control R, and you're a PC person, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a PC. Do the Mac people, is it still Command R? Does it work?
Well, you were doing something else up there, weren't you?
Yeah, I was hitting F9.
Because I was going to say, you only were touching one
Yeah.
button.
Wow, she's very observant. Did you notice that about her?
I got it to
Yeah.
keep a record of all my numbers.
Oh my gosh. Now how did you do that?
Well, there was a choice when I right-clicked on it for doing something else, record the spreadsheet, and then it could tell me how many, and I picked 10, I don't know why, but I'm giving a rolling list of my last 10.
So help us out here. We need to, in order to record to the spreadsheet, what do we need to do? Let's all open up a spreadsheet together. How do we do that?
Control Shift
What's the old-fashioned way? You go view spreadsheet? Now do this really slowly. Do that more slowly than that. Go to view. That was too fast. Go to view.
Is this slow enough?
Yeah, that's good. She's funny. Did you notice that? What's the shortcut? It was too fast. What's the shortcut? I wanted her to go to the view and then where it says spreadsheet. How can we figure out the command sequence that does the same thing?
It's right next to it.
So Control Shift S, that's what you guys were telling me to do, right? But I always forget that. Okay, anyway, spreadsheet. Will you tell us what you did?
I right-clicked on A, for example, then I said record the spreadsheet,
Okay.
and then what did I say? I said row limit 10, I clicked a row limit, I probably should have done that, but I did.
That's good, that's good.
And then I said close.
Close. Oh my God, please do what I think you're going to do.
Now I hit Control R.
Oh, okay, let's go ahead and do that. Yeah. What happens when you hit Control R? Yeah, and it keeps track.
But why would this be a good use in the classroom?
It should work.
I was creating a sampling distribution.
Well, it might also be helpful for students if you're having them do activities with this random between. Instead of having them write it down where they may write down a number wrong, it's also recording it in the spreadsheet for them.
I don't know the right control. Okay. Okay. On a Mac, it's to right click on something. What do you have to click on your control and click?
Or
Okay.
just tap with 2 fingers.
Tap with 2 fingers. Hey, I got a question. You're gonna have to play around with it a little bit. I got a question for you. I got a question for you. I think this is very exciting right now. What we could do. How many of you were in the session here the last session? And we had some values that were in the spreadsheet, and we were able to create what from the values? Points. Here's what I really want to do. Can you read my mind? How can I have a scatter plot? Right now I only see what?
One, we need two.
I need 2. 2 what?
2 variables.
2 variables. Do we have another variable we can use?
There's an A and an X up there.
Yeah, why don't we use X as our what variable?
Y.
Why? Does that trouble you that X is Y? Okay.
You can know you want to.
Hey, if you want to rename X, what do you want to rename X as? Or you can rename it Y. Rename it whatever you want.
But if you rename it Y, isn't Y going to be way over on the spreadsheet? Or are you
Let's just
gonna-
try it out.
Or you're putting it,
Let's try it.
oh, you're going to.
We never put it
Okay,
in.
I think we're okay.
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 Okay, and let's call A. You want to call A X? Can we call A X? Do you care?
Do I have to?
No. I don't care what you do, to be honest. And I don't mean that. I don't mean to sound rude, but I really don't care. Let's call A X.
My question for Y is it a random integer too, or is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is, between what and what does it matter?
Okay, now if you press them.
Yeah.
It
Let's
just
try
depends on
it.
what you set it
I
as.
know, erase the number.
8 is actually between
No
-5
worries.
and
No
5.
worries. No worries. You go ahead and click OK. That's okay. Now, how can we figure out how Y is defined? You guys are bothered that we didn't build Y together, right? Or we didn't build X together.
No, why?
How can we see how these are both defined?
Go back up and see it.
You double click on it.
Yeah.
Can you double click? Can you find object properties of that? Look. So x is 0 between 0 and 10. You're with me? How can we find out what y is? Let's click on y. Oh, it's from -5 to 5. Does that bother you? No. Okay. You can make it whatever you want. What's our goal going to be? Yeah, we're gonna actually create a x column and a y column and plot these random points. I just cannot wait. I think it'd be cool to create 3 random points and create a random what? A 3 random points rather, instead of not just 3 coordinates. We could make a random what? If we had 3 random points. Triangle. We could find its area. We could then start plotting areas and see a distribution. We could do all kinds of stuff. Are you guys ready to make our 2 columns of data? Okay. How do we do it? How do we do it? How do we get that second column in there? Is it possible to get the second column and be like?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Right click on line and say record spreadsheet and automatically update.
Okay, we can record that in the spreadsheet too. And does it automatically? So it's going to C. It's okay for us. Okay. Yeah, you can do that. No worries. Now what happens?
Yeah. I'm getting.
Yeah, mine
Mine are only going to add the Y and the X at the same time. Wait, what?
Can we reset everything and start over?
Can you reset everything and start over?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Refresh the view. Under view.
Does that do that? You know what I would do? If I have a spreadsheet with a bunch of values. How do I get rid of the values? How do we do that? How do you do that in Excel?
Top of the column and.
Can we just highlight all those numbers and just hit delete? Let's see if it'll work. Can you just hit delete? Okay, let's delete the ones over there too. What are we doing right now? We're just screwing around. Right? How do you learn stuff? Just screw around. So let's try this again. Oh my God. What do we do? Tell her what to do. Okay, copy both of them to the spreadsheet. How do you do that?
Right click.
Right click.
Record the spreadsheet.
Okay. Let's close. Let's do that with the other one. Let's see what happens.
Control which column it is.
I'm thinking, can we delete column B?
Oh, look at that, she's still off.
Yeah, what's up with this? How can we clear the spreadsheet?
There's some ones that.
You're saying close it and reopen it? Does that work? Let's try that.
I did it.
It's still there. What'd you do?
When I clicked again on the x equals 3 and or your guys' x equals 1 and click record the spreadsheet, when it pops up in the box, so click on x equals 1, right click, and record the spreadsheet, choose that. And then see how it says number x, random, number y, random in the left hand?
Yeah.
Then click the x at the bottom
Oh.
and redo them again.
Oh. Oh yeah, kill Y too.
Kill y, yeah.
Kill Y.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then let's.
now we'll restart it.
Okay, let's do that. Okay, let's try it again.
Oh, that was
Hey. Oh, thank you. It's okay. I'll figure it out. Thank you.
And you can actually, you don't even have to close that box. Because see how we were clicking X in that box, then you can click the plus and record the spreadsheet options box, and it'll do it all in one step. See at the plus at the bottom? Right now, you don't have to close out of that to get Y. Click
Oh, you
plus.
can add another one.
Click plus, and then it says select, and don't click cancel. No, don't.
Hit plus. Hit the
Then,
Y.
don't hit cancel, go up and hit Y. And then it adds it in.
What did we just do? We just learned by doing what?
Screw it.
Messing around. We need to mess around more. Okay, cool. So now what?
Close it,
Close.
and then use your.
You wanna roll with it?
Let's just make 10 or so points. Can we stop when we have 10? We don't need to set it to 10 to stop, do we? We're not that like. Okay, so let's do it. Now, here's what I want to do. Can we just plot the first 10 ordered pairs? How do we do that? We did. I'm not worried about that. I'm just going to plot the first 10 ordered pairs. I don't care. So how do we do that?
Highlight them,
Highlight them?
right click, and it says create, and you can say a list of points. And they plot themselves.
That's cool. What I'm wondering is, I'm just messing around. I don't know how we could use this in teaching yet. I'm just kind of playing around. Is it possible to refresh the list and then start replotting them and have them plot automatically over there, or not?
I don't know.
Take a minute and see if you can figure that out. Just mess around a little bit. I'm wondering if we can redefine those values, 10 values, and get them to plot automatically over there. That's my challenge to you. I don't know if we can do it or not. Take a minute and mess around.
Just, yeah. And then it says fit line list of points.
Is there a thing?
Just the fit line list. I guess you can do that.
What's going to happen? What about refresh?
Right click on it.
Oh, you didn't have to do something. You don't have to delete them in reality. So that would generate.
Yeah, you got a question?
No, a new way, instead of to like reset the X and Y,
Yes.
in that same box, instead of Xing them and then adding X and Y back in.
Now, hang on a minute, hang on. There are people talking. I just cannot even hear what you're saying. And my ADHD is kicking in. So please, listen to what the young woman is saying. Okay, say that again.
Before, in order to reset the list, we went to the record to spreadsheet box, and so like if you go and click on X and Y right now, and you go to the record in the spreadsheet, instead of Xing and then adding the number X and Y back in, see how there's like an eraser looking button?
Yeah.
That'll clear the list, and then you don't have to delete and re-add. So that just erase X and then click on Y and do Y.
Oh my God, but they're still defined, right? So now if we regenerate them, will they automatically plot over there?
I don't know.
Let's try it out.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, I think you have to repopulate the list.
Oh, because the list has been destroyed?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is awesome though. Like I totally, how many of you have learned something new about putting data in the spreadsheet you didn't know before? Honest to God, how many of you are having at least a 6 out of 10 day right now? This is perfect. Okay, I kind of want to segue just a little bit and ask you a question, because this is kind of haunting me, because I don't have an infinite amount of time in my teaching career. How might I use this random between? We generate some points over there. Can you think of a way we might use random between, creating points in a way that could be pedagogically useful? Say you're creating an applet for kids or something. Can you think of a way we might use random between? Yeah.
Put all the points up there, put a line of best fit, and then when you hit regenerate, you're going to be replacing one point with a new one, and you'll see what one exchange point would do to the line of best fit.
Yes.
Oh my God, what do you think? That's really good. I mean, do we pursue that? Would you like to pursue that and see how it works?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. So how do we do that? What do we need to do? We got our points, right? What do we need to do now with them? Let's make a scatter plot. So we need to highlight all of these and do what with them?
Create a list.
Create a list. So how do you do that? Right click. Create a list of points. Okay. And then I would really love if, can we hide the algebra view so I can see graphics? Click on the X there actually. Yeah, and let's kind of move the spreadsheet so it's not so much of the screen. Is that possible to do?
Yes. Oh.
How do we get it back how it was? How the hell did you do that? So how can we move that? Is it possible to move the spreadsheet so it's only 2 bars? Oh my God. Oh, that's cool. That's good. So now I can really see pretty much all the points, I think. Why is it I can see all the points? Usually they're far away. And what was it about the way we created those that makes them 0 to 10? Okay. Now how in the world
She did something tricky. She
what she did?
She changed the screens and rescaled. Is that the story? Like when you went from horizontal to vertical and back?
I can literally move it back. I can move this up here and it'll be on top. Or I can.
But when you did that, it rescaled so that everything was visible.
It did?
I think it did.
I didn't notice.
So it goes from.
Did it? No, it didn't.
I think it automatically does that, makes it bigger.
Okay. Are you being? Is she being tricky? She is not tricky.
I'm not saying she did. I'm saying when you did that, it does it.
Did it do that?
I think it did.
I don't know if it did or not.
I'm going to try it.
Yeah. How do we get a line of best fit? How many of you guys have done a line of best fit so far today? So tell us what to do.
On the input bar, you put in pipeline. And then we have a list of points, so it's the one we're going to use, that one. And then you just type in the point names, so like A, B, C, D with commas in between. I figured out a faster way to do it.
If you hover over the points, is there a list associated with this?
Yeah, it should be.
Is it?
If you pull up the algebra view, it should have.
Let's look at the algebra view again.
Well, the algebra view has each of the points listed.
It wasn't as a list though.
List 1.
Oh.
So what can you type inside this fit
List
line?
one.
Just type list 1 in here. Oh my God, I can't wait to see if it works. Now there's a little thing you got to delete before you get in. Oh my gosh. How in the world did she do that? That was too fast. You want to do it again? Okay, check this out. We have no plan, folks. What are we doing right now? We're messing around. So you highlighted the points and you create a list of points. I'm certainly getting good at this. And then, you can arrow up in the input bar. You can arrow up. Do the up arrow. Did you guys notice? When you arrow up, you get a history of the commands you typed. You can also do that. Look at this. Check this out. If you click on this little, if you notice these little, yeah, click on that little up-down thing right there real quick. Just real quick. Click on that again.
Changing what?
It's a, what is this?
Like changing a point and seeing how the.
All the history of the things you've typed. So you don't have to memorize commands. Just use the ones you've used before.
Oh, that's right.
I think great for this, but.
You need one more control R.
Select the list that you want important.
To get the other
Well,
one.
you got line one, row one is section one.
The results of such and such, you know, what are reasonable results, say.
I think it'll be all right. I think it's already just fine.
Yeah, and then responses.
I agree with you. I don't like it. I like it. I like it.
So, and then once you, like, you have a reasonable list of results, and then randomly generate them.
Oh, that's right.
And then,
I didn't say 10 points.
Not 10 listens to the one.
No, you're talking about it. That took me a minute. I'm sorry.
this person was like really positive about this.
Okay, you guys have a list?
The whole line.
Okay. How do we create that line again?
Although you can do something more.
Fit line, and then how did we figure out that the name of the list? I mean, these poor souls were typing in 9 different ordered pairs because there's only 9 ordered pairs highlighted. They were typing in each one. What was the faster way to do that? God, that would take forever.
Yeah, see this label?
In the algebra view, we can see the name of that list, and it was list 1.
Yeah.
So she types it in there. See list 1, and then input list 1, and then look, whatever. Yeah, type that, hit enter. Now, what was your idea using this command?
Well, now when you hit Control R, one of those points, they're all going to re-letter because you're moving up the list and move up, but there'll be one new point. So try Control R.
It doesn't.
Try again. Oh, did you not limit the number of points?
We didn't limit the number of points.
Okay, I had limited the number of points on mine so I could replace one point with another. And then you saw how much the line could move with a new random, with one point being pulled away and a new random. one
Totally makes sense. Now, we can go through that and do that, or we can let you play around with that. What's your preference? We can either do what he said and limit our number of points to 10, so that in fact points will be replaced and the line of best fit will change. Or we can simply say out loud that is a possibility, and then not do it, and let you try it at home. What is your preference? Number 2. So why don't we move on and do something else? But this is kind of neat. You can look at line of best fit with this command. But something else we might do. How could you use random between? Would you like to see an example of random between that our friend here came up with? Okay, are you sure?
Yes.
It's really nice. Okay, show us what you had in mind.
I made an actual football simulation. Typically, when you are in high school, a lot of the big talk is like high school football games. And I was trying to think of a sketch that a lot of high school students would be able to like reference to. And so I actually made a football field with using random between. So once you, and then when you get into the actual field goal, it says goal. And there's actually, I've set it up with a probability of how many times that, because the whole situation is, let's say we already have a kicker, and this new kid, he's on the block, and he's thinking, oh, I'm a better kicker than your kicker. And so we're going to have him try out and start kicking the football. And it's actually set up with probabilities using random between, so students are able to find the probability of how much better this kicker is compared to our old kicker.
What do you think? Yeah. I'm automatically, I'm thinking, you know what I'm thinking would be cool? Let's connect the previous idea with this idea. What could you do with is there some data here, actually?
Right.
What could we do with the data? What is the data?
Is it in or not?
Goals and not goals.
Goals are not goals? What can we do with that data? I'm sensing that something's going on.
I need that key back.
The key back for what?
That I gave you this morning.
Okay,
Because I need it.
okay,
Okay, that's in the key.
yes,
All right,
yes.
thanks.
I guess you could tally.
You can tally goals and no goals? Okay, then now I'm thinking theoretical versus, what's the other kind of experimental probability? And, yeah, we could run lots of trials and see how close.
Well, how many points did you give us?
Is it possible to dump the data in a spreadsheet? I really don't know. Can you like put zeros and ones in if you get a goal or not a goal? Is that possible? Then you could sum them together, and the sum of that column would be
You
the,
have to set up an if
the
statement.
successes and stuff. That's kind of cool.
How did you make the goal appear? Did you?
Just do
Like-
one.
It's actually just line segment, or the actual wording goal.
No, how did you decide when to display it?
That's actually when you,
You use the
so
condition.
object properties, I'm gonna try to recall this. So you right click on goal, and you do object properties,
Do the conditional show or whatever.
yeah, in the advanced.
And then condition to show object.
So what is that actually saying? Take a minute and look at her command.
I can't read that.
Can we make our font size bigger?
So now you
Close that, make the font size real big.
um,
Go to options. Font size like 28, yeah.
Yeah, this one's just
Try that, try that.
smaller.
And then now go to your object.
I would probably start seeing that.
Okay, look at that. Look at that for a moment.
this and this and this.
So
guy.
J is the equation.
X is fixed as a function of 4
4 and 9, and y is higher than 3.
J is the what? The football. How do you know that? Not like a guess.
Yeah, the X is for the football after.
Why would the X values have to be between? What are the?
Oh, that's what ours.
What's that?
Yeah.
What's this?
That's gotta be the height.
Is there a bound to this?
No.
Yeah.
Black is higher than 3.
Yeah, so the symbols make sense. That's beautiful.
I know the kids would freak out at the end.
So could you just use that same condition and make like a counter?
How? How can it help us?
Well, you can say like A equals A plus 1. Like you define a variable.
Help us do that. I don't know where you're going with this.
As far as like going
Well, you've already got conditions for what's a goal, so you just have to count.
every time that.
You'd have to record the results of kicking it to a spreadsheet and then count the number of times, like have a sorter, so it knows if it is or not, and then just have it add a 1 if it is and a 0 if it's not. I don't know how this would work.
God, I would love to be able to do that before this is over. I'd love if we could do that. Let's get a spreadsheet with ones or zeros. Do you have an idea?
Spreadsheet, it's like Excel, you can actually input a function.
Okay. Oh my God.
But
So how about if that?
I can even do it.
If that comma 1, comma 0. You know, like if it's true 1, false 0. Let's try that. Let's copy and paste that whole Boolean statement. Can we copy and paste from here?
That's always the.
You copy it?
Right click.
I bet you did, right?
Control V.
C.
Okay. Then now what? Get out of there. Okay. Can we make the graphics be smaller? Can we make
I did this for you, Mr. Irwin.
I know you did. I'm not trying to
I know
be.
you're going.
I'm just
wrong.
asking if you're okay if we make it smaller. I'm not like insinuating that it was anybody's idea. Okay. And then now what? Now what? Spreadsheet? So view the spreadsheet? And then you're saying there's this if command?
yeah, like
So where do you want her to click?
if you go up, just like select A1, your cell A1. Oh, up.
Or up
The
higher?
little drop down arrow, like right to the right of the spreadsheet, in the spreadsheet itself. Over the little tiny dot, there you go. Click, okay, you see the little FMX.
Yeah.
There's your, you can input.
Oh my
functions.
gosh. So where do you type the formula?
Right,
next to the green check.
Yeah, the green check mark, or so if you type it
Okay.
in, and that's as far as I got. It's like, oh, it's like Excel.
Now, do we have to type equals if, or just
If you
if?
want the second one, because you want else,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Okay, so if, and then what's the condition actually?
What she copied.
What she copied, let's paste it right there.
Control V.
Okay, then, so then if it's true, we want 1. Have I done this before in my life? No, it might not work. Would you be really pissed if it doesn't work? No. Else 0? Okay, now, let's test this out. How can we test this out?
Kick again.
Let's kick again and see if that value changes to a,
Yeah, you might.
we're not there yet, but we're getting there.
Get rid of the algebra for a second so we can see.
Yeah.
Drag that over a little bit.
Yeah, move the expression over.
Oh my God. A little more. That's good. Okay, ready? 0.
That changes it. Is it adding it? It just
It's not adding, it's changing it itself.
We want the sum.
Is that like our first step?
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting close. Okay, so what do we do?
Now,
Can we fill down?
we actually have to go to the next one.
Yeah, how in the world are we going to do that? Do you know how to do it? No? You're very smart. I think you should be able to figure this out.
I think we should.
Do you think I know how to do it? Absolutely not. I have no idea.
You can copy the formula down, but I don't think that'll work.
No, because then we just get all the same values over and over again. Yeah.
If we can spit out the football number, the J, or whatever, the numbers that are being recorded, then we can use that formula and just copy and paste it down, and we'll get a series of 1s and 0s.
Say that again.
Sorry.
That sounds like it's going to work, but I don't know what you said.
Instead of just having the, in the spreadsheet, the 1s and 0s, actually have it spit out the random between numbers that are being calculated. And then from those numbers...
Oh, and then a new column that's either 1 or 0.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's try that. What do you think? That's going to work. I know that's going to work.
Well, will we have to like move it down manually to the next one?
It's just like Excel, you just kind of...
Yeah, you know how she hit control whatever it was, and it made that list? We're going to make the list of the x and y coordinates. And then the third column is going to be derived from the coordinates. It's either going to be 1 or 0. Is that what you're saying, my friend? And then we're just going to use that column. That's going to work. Without a doubt. Let's do that really quick. We can do that. So what do we want A to be? A to, how do we want to define A? I don't want to say A to B because that's confusing.
The x coordinate of the ball.
Yeah.
So that was.
Isn't that J?
Yeah, so x of j.
So x of j,
Do you want to change this?
Oh, copy it and put it.
let's copy it.
Yeah, copy that.
We're going to have to change that though to be A1 in terms of A1 and B1.
Copy that right now to see.
Copy the whole thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole thing, that whole formula, we want that to be seen.
And then
I think that's going to require some tweaking, I'm going to say that out loud. But it's still cool to have. Probably just paste, because I think that was what was in there.
Wouldn't it make this instead of just putting it in one? No, it was A1.
Maybe this is bass backwards. We should be generating the football from the items in the list.
So why is it whichever stuff? Oh, because I think everything's being put in A1.
You know what I mean? It's totally doable, I know it is.
Pull it down. Can't you, I have left the points and do record the spreadsheet so that it's
Yeah.
on there.
Tell me what you mean, I don't get it. Tell me what you mean.
Like,
Record the spreadsheet like we just.
Record the football to the spreadsheet?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my God, can we do that?
I don't know.
It's a football.
I don't know.
I think you
What?
can just get rid of the 1. I think it works. See where it says it's putting that, everything into A1? And I think if you go back and you just get rid of the 1, then it would keep track of them, but I'm not sure.
I don't think it's gonna sum them up, because we
It's
haven't
not
done
gonna
that,
sum
but
them, but I
it's
think
at
we
least
give you a
gonna
list of
generate
them.
it.
Okay, should we try that?
Because how was it doing it before, when we were just doing points on the last activity? And we didn't have to keep.
We created a point and then we said record to spreadsheet.
Right.
Right,
And then every time we create a new one, it would put a new one below.
but it was a random integer. Isn't
She's
this?
already got them in her algebra file.
She already has them in her algebra file, that's correct.
Right.
We just need to know.
We're so close.
I just think that because when we put in the formula, we put it into A1,
Yes.
that if you got rid
I
of
think
one
just
and
put it in
just
A.
put it in
Yeah.
A,
Put it
Just
in
like
A.
an Excel
then
sheet.
you get, then it would keep going.
Okay.
And it wouldn't keep
Yeah, click
replacing.
on the A, not
So you're
A1.
defining the column A rather than.
Right.
Click on A, not
Right.
A1.
Okay, let's try that. This poor
Yeah.
soul.
I know.
We're doing like
Everybody's
20 things at once.
doing it.
I think the ideas over here are good, I think the ideas
Yeah.
here are good.
This is not working now. We can do this.
You just want to copy it there.
Control A.
It's not pasting that formula again.
Might be easier just to type the damn thing in again.
You should,
Are you going to put this back in?
By the way, how do you find and? Yeah, I think if you click on that little, you see that little alpha? Click on the little alpha, see if we can find and. See the alpha right? It's the red. It looks like A.
I was trying to think of that, I was like, oh, that's what that was.
She needs to go back in there.
Yeah, I didn't have to figure out what your first.
Look at that text box.
So fast.
The condition box.
In there. Oh, condition box. Click in there.
Get over in there.
See that little, it looks like an A at the very end? It's alpha. See, it's alpha.
Alpha.
See, it's up there at the end. Click on that. Do you see an and symbol?
Yeah.
Where is it?
Above the degree symbol.
Yeah,
Second row, about middle column.
that's where you get those Boolean. Good.
Also, if you, a quick one was, if you, above the 7, the and symbol, you do 2 of those.
Yeah. 2 ampersands.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay, I don't want, we don't want to get too distracted from our task, or do we want to give up on our task? We're very close. Give up?
We're gonna home.
Okay.
A similar thing you can do with using the geometry part of GeoGebra and draw a square and inscribe a circle and estimate pi by dropping all
When
those
they go in
data
there or
points, whether they fall in the circle or in this outside the circle.
Yeah. That's an excellent idea. One thing I've seen is Steve Phelps, he would create 2 random points. Can you imagine 2 points moving every time he hits Control R? And the points, they make a line out of the points. And then he has the kids calculate what the slope is. The slope's hidden. And then you can click on a little button to check your answer. It's like kids are like calculating slopes with pencil and paper for the particular example, and then they check and see if they're doing it right, and then guess what they do?
Random variable.
Then they randomly do a new one, and they just keep practicing. You can do that with like equations of lines, and he's really into the self-checking sketches and letting kids play around at their own pace. It's really nice. So we have 5 minutes left, right? You told me to give up. So what are some things that you've learned today here? Even though this was completely impromptu, what are some things you can take away from our little time together?
Random between.
Random between. Yeah. You know more about random between than you did before. Guess what I've attempted to model with you today? Like pedagogically. That's the really like sort of negative spin. No, not really. I mean, you're my friend. But like, many of you guys are engaged in the conversation. I think that GeoGebra is a really worthy conversation tool. So, is it safe to say?
It's problem-based learning.
Say what?
What you're doing is problem-centered teaching and learning.
Yeah.
Here's the problem, we'll learn from the problem.
I love when they call it like being a teacher with ADHD, and they come up with a good name for it. Like problem-centered instruction. A goal?
We have to have a goal on it.
Well, Actually, in terms of GeoGebra, what was our goal? Random in between. Did we do that?
4 random,
Absolutely.
or 4 random dots, making 2 points. Segment between
Do you
two points.
care to add, I mean, you were incredibly gracious, like letting me, you gave me the room to play around. Do you have any comments, thoughts?
I really like that.
Okay. So, I should mention before you go, tonight at 7 p.m., just in case you're hanging out, some people are hanging out, like people are standing over at the dorm over there. If you're going to be around, Steve Phelps and I guess myself, we'll be here at the Heritage Room again. So, just a small subset of us are going to hang out and talk about the day. We might go for a walk or check things out. Just have time for folks to do what? Kind of collaborate, talk. We'll be there at 7 o'clock tonight if you're interested. Everyone's invited.
Should we bring computers?
If you want to, you don't have to, it's up to
Take
you.
a walk.
I don't know what we're going to do. You might want to bring your computer just in case. Is that all right?
No, well started. I'm gonna download everything I have.